right, good morning. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. Getting closer and closer to that 6:30 startup time. I always seem to run out of time at the end of the program. But the topic today, I've pretty much been hitting at it the whole time. Following the Brown situation with Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. They had Kenny Pickett and, of course, Joe Flacco. The Browns came out before the season started, said they were going to keep 4 quarterbacks. But in reality, they had 5 quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson, on injured reserve, physically unable to play list, he wasn't factored into the equation. So the Browns didn't have to worry too much about that particular position. But they did surprise people by telling everyone that they would keep 4 positions. Well, I didn't think they were going to keep 4 positions for long, and they didn't. So the Raiders lost their backup quarterback, Aiden, forget his name, and they traded for Kenny Pickett. So that took the Browns' room down to 3. Now the Browns, they might be looking a little bit more forward than what a lot of people give them credit for, because with Pickett out of the way, that left 2 rookies as backups to Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is 40 years old. He can fall apart at any time. He can get broke up at any time. So one of those rookies was going to have to step in and play. Well, it didn't happen so far in the first 2 games, but they still stuck with 2 rookies. Well, on Sunday, Deshaun Watson, the polarizing quarterback to the Cleveland fans, he turned 30 the other day, and he came out and pretty much hinted that he's going to be coming back. Who's that? I don't know your name, BTS, whatever you're saying. Hello. He pretty much hinted at a return sometime this year. Well, a lot of people in Browns fans, they are irate at the situation because his presence hasn't produced what they thought it was going to be. So they figure with his injuries, they're done with him. He's gone. Well, there's nothing wrong with his arm, only his Achilles. Got that repaired for a second time. Now he's ready to go once he gets cleared. So the question is, will the Browns actually clear him? JC, how you doing, man? The question is, will they actually clear him? Well, it's to the Browns' advantage if Watson didn't play at all this year because of some kind of insurance thing that they have against the salary cap. He's still owed $135 million on that contract. But if he does not play, they get a salary cap reduction, which is basically a relief. But like I've been saying all along, Watson, if those other quarterbacks don't come on and perform like they're supposed to, and the team is struggling, yet they still have to pay Watson all this money, why wouldn't the Browns bring him back to see if they can get some kind of money off their investment? You see, with the Vikings, the danger of putting somebody out there with no experience. Yeah, you can look good in the preseason, but when the actual bullets fly in the regular season, completely different ball. And now you got J.J. McCarthy looking like, he shouldn't be allowed nowhere near NFL stadium, especially under center trying to play quarterback. And it is not conducive to put somebody out there with not a whole lot of experience. And because of that, you can take a bad team and look awfully bad, or you can take a decent football team like, say, the Vikings with a good defense and kill it with no offense. And you put a quarterback out there, you can destroy his confidence for his whole career. And you pretty much lost him at that point. So bringing Watson in, if he knows the offense, I think that it wouldn't be a bad choice for the Browns to put him on out there. And I've been saying all along, I think this is what's going to happen. But why the fans don't like Watson so much, I have no idea. But I think if he continues to progress with his rehab and the team keeps getting beat, like they got beat the other day against Baltimore, losing close games, or Flacco gets hurt and one of those rookies get out there and stink up the joint and the other rookie comes in and he don't do nothing, Watson's going to play this year. I just got that feeling. I had the feeling all along. And until I see otherwise or somebody tell me otherwise, I think that's what's going to happen, unless the Browns just take the money and get that insurance for not playing him and use that for future players against the salary cap. JC says, I wonder if Watson still has the arm and accuracy along with the footwork. He's been out so long. Well, it don't take much to get back into football shape. I went out of high school. I took 5 years off before walking on to a college program. I made the team. There was some things that you had to get used to, like the conditioning was different. I mean, you had to get back to doing that type of conditioning again. It took me a little longer than I thought to do that. But once you get back into the swing of things, it wasn't a big deal. And I sat out 5 years. That is a very long time to sit out from football. And Watson, he's been out, a year and a half? And it's primarily because he's been debilitated by these injuries. But when he's rehabbing, he has to do football-related activities to build back up before they clear him. So by the time he gets cleared, he's going to be ready to go. So that's not much of an issue there, JC. But he still has the arm, and the arm doesn't really lose you. If you keep yourself upper body in shape and you keep doing what you've been doing, and the natural talent that he has to throw the ball, it's not much of a stretch that he won't be back. Hell, he could actually come back better than what he was before. I never torn anything, never broke anything, any of that. But they tell me with these Achilles surgeries, and when they repair them, they bring you back better than what you were before. So a lot to think about. Selma, what's going on, man? The dog pound is in the house. I'm asking a question about your brownies today, Fudd. I've been touching on it off and on with the situation going on with the quarterback room with the Browns all summer. And, you got rid of Pickens, and now you have the possibility that Watson could return. I've been saying it all along, but now the possibility, it seems to be going to come into play. So I'd like to know what you got to think about that, Fudd. What you think about these Brownies, man, in this quarterback situation. Matter of fact, do you hate Watson? Like a lot of Browns fans hate Watson. What is your take on that? Now, speaking of other young quarterbacks, C.J. Stroud, he's in his third year with the Texans. I tried to watch them the other night, and I got to tell you, the Texans are very hard to watch. They are very hard to watch on offense right now. And I mentioned it yesterday. A lot of these coaches, they want to do and act and say all the same things that the other coaches are doing. I call them Ike and Mike. They all alike. Here the Texans got a first and damn goal on them inside the one. First mistake, he line up in the damn shotgun. They try to hand the ball to Chubb. He gets stuffed. Well, if you just go in the center and hand it to him, Chubb gets into the end zone. Well, they stuff him. The second down, inside the one, he tried to throw a pass. Incomplete. So now you're at third down, inside the one. What do? Run the football, right? Nope. They roll out and they throw the damn ball away. Bring in the field goal team. Fans booing like you ever did want to see. So I look at the Fango media thing. I told you guys I do the Fango correspondence down here in Jacksonville with the Jaguar fans. And this guy in Houston who does it there, he's talking to the fans, and the fans are saying the same thing. And I'm telling you that they think the offensive coordinator should be out of there. Because if you got a guy like Nick Chubb, why wouldn't you line up on the center and just pound it in there? Later on, about 25 yards out, they did line up on the center, handed to Chubb. He popped one, touchdown. They could have did that 7 minutes ago and probably sealed the game. But lo and behold, they go for 2 points. They don't get it. And guess what? The Bucs come down in typical NFL end of the game fashion. They find a way to get the ball in the end zone and ended up knocking off Houston on the road. And the fans, they see the obvious. Stroud is not playing very well, probably because you don't have a whole lot of time to throw, and they're not running the football. So if you can't run the football, then the defense is going to pin those ears back, and they're coming after that quarterback. And Stroud is not the most mobile fellow in the world. So the Houston's week says Watson needs to play. And Kayla White said, no, I don't think I think he's out. Well, I think Kayla look like he might be coming back. And I've been calling it all along. I mean, if you're paying this guy, you got $135 million on the hook for him, and he's going to be activated, you might as well play him. Because, hell, he might just be better than all the quarterbacks you got in the room combined. We'll see. But I think should be noted that those young guys should at least get a chance before you put Watson out there, because if they can perform well enough to keep the end of the season in a decent fashion, then the Browns can save their money, get some more players in there, and then have these guys fight it out next season. Because Watson, unless they trade him, and nobody really wants that big contract Watson had, so I expect him to be back next year fighting for another position. But if he comes back and he outplays these other guys, then Watson's going to be the starting quarterback. Then they're going to start dealing people. Flacco's going to be the first to go, and either Pickett or Sanders is going to survive that. And I think Sanders is going to be the odd man out because they're not giving him any reps right now. So that's how I think that's going to play out in Cleveland. All right. Morado says time and time again, what does Watson do right? Well, Watson can throw the football. And Watson, he can get your team to the playoffs. You got the Texans there. And he ain't a bad quarterback. He's better than a lot of quarterbacks out there. I would rather start him than some of the other ones I see out there. I damn sure wouldn't start a guy like J.J. McCarthy. I never thought he should have been an NFL starting quarterback in the first place. And the Vikings, if they didn't know it, hell, they know it now. Matter of fact, I made the joke. All these starting quarterbacks out. McCarthy is one of them. He's got an ankle injury. They're talking about he's going to be out for a couple weeks. Hell, they probably celebrating in Minnesota because of that, because at least they get an opportunity to get somebody else out there, or a veteran in there, that can play. I think they picked up Carson Wentz. That's an improvement right there. All you got to do is get the offense, and Minnesota's improved just that much. They don't need a whole lot. They got a decent defense. But I think they would call Atlanta to see if they get Kirk Cousins to come back. So the question that will hang that up is, would Cousins want to come back? If it was me, you ran me off for this guy and he can't play, I'll tell the Vikings to go to hell. I sit on the sideline with the Falcons and get paid. Because that's one thing Cousins is good at. Everywhere he seems to go, he just seems to end up on a golden parachute, man. So I wouldn't even worry about it if I was Cousins. All right. Appreciate that, Mulatto. 5 quarterbacks hurt already and Flacco's still out there. Well, I mean, just because you're old, that don't mean you're destined to get hurt. Young doesn't guarantee you anything. You know, you just younger than everybody, but you're not guaranteed to avoid anything. So just, it's not a curse to be old. Who do you go for in the NFL? Well, I'm known as a Steeler, and I don't back off from it. But I tell the truth about them too. When they get the BS, and I'll let you know. I said before the season started that if they're able to keep Rodgers upright and they're able to run the football and run that play action pass, and Pittsburgh's going to be dangerous. What I didn't count on was the defense to take a step backwards. They're supposed to be improved, but they're not playing like they're improved. They kind of remind you of Baltimore's defense. They got all those former number one picks, and they're supposed to be this, but then they didn't look that way in the first game. They looked a little better the second game, but you can score on Baltimore. So we'll see how they do against Detroit this week. But I lost my train of thought. But back to Houston. They're 0-2 and they're going to be coming to Jacksonville this week. And they think that they're just going to run through Jacksonville because it's the same old Jacksonville. It ain't the same old Jacksonville. They actually got an improved offensive line. Trevor's got more time to throw, and they're running the football. Now, all the changes that Jacksonville made, the one change that still may come could be at the quarterback position. What he threw 3 interceptions in the red zone last week? Unacceptable. You cannot do that if you want to be a winning team. And the other thing, Travis Hunter, he's starting to play more and more on defense. And guess what? Those other teams are going right after him. Why? Because he's still playing snaps on offense. He's not doing like he did in college yet. But if he builds up to the point where he can play, I still don't think it's wise, because you're putting yourself in a position where you can get hurt. But he's out there more and more after playing offense. So what the other teams are doing and what the Bengals did, they're going right after him. They're going to run him deep. They're going to do all kinds of things, and they're going to make him come up and tackle. Right now, he needs to work on his tackling technique. He just seems kind of small out there. I could just see him running up against a guy like Henry, and it ain't going to be pretty if Henry put them big mitts on him. And you're going to make Hunter look bad. Now, I heard Rex Ryan say the other day he thinks that It was a wasted pick for the Jaguars to get Travis Hunter. I don't know if he's saying that because he don't think Hunter can play. Maybe Hunter's too small, or maybe he's saying that because he don't like the idea of a guy trying to play both ways. Either way, he said it. He said it's a wasted pick. Get that guy out of there is pretty much what he said. Well, Hunter, he's going to have to address his size issue. I mean, he can't get no taller or anything like that, but he can get on that weight pile and he can get himself beefed up a little bit, and he can work on his tackling technique. If he's willing to stick his nose in there and make some tackles every now and then, he's going to be all right. But the question is, how does the team want to use him moving forward? But if they continue to run him a whole lot of plays on offense and his workload increase on defense, teams are going to go strictly after Hunter. You saw that with the Bengals the other day. Now, they got a couple of interference calls on him, and they isolated him, and he held up pretty decent. But he's going to have to expect the fact that they're going to come after him even more because he's a liability after playing both sides of the ball. And he's going to either step up or he's going to be exposed. And the more he gets exposed, the more they're going to throw at him. So it's up to Jacksonville to make a decision. Chris Bristol, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while, man. Nice to see you again. But, I think Chubb should have stayed in Cleveland. But, when you start getting injuries, people lose confidence in you. One thing about Chubb, he's always been a strong dude. And he got hurt in Georgia. Achilles or something, a knee injury. He came back from that to still be a first-round pick. And I think he got hurt twice in Cleveland. So running backs, their lifespan is not that long anyway. So, in a high physical position like that, you don't want to put too much investment in that. So it was wise for the Browns to get rid of that potential disaster and ship him off somewhere else. I don't know how much money he got from Houston, but I guarantee you it wasn't a top dollar deal. And if he comes back and he plays well, then he'll get another top dollar deal. But they're still going to be looking at him like, man, you might fall apart at any time. But the one guy that nobody talks about that could fall apart at any time is the man, Derrick Henry. I'm not saying that because of his age. With this diet thing he got and his workout regimen, he's operating that as a player that is much younger than what his actual age is. But the thing with Henry, he ran the ball a whole lot with Tennessee. They're not using him as much as I thought they would in Baltimore. They used him a lot in college, but where he really got his damn workload was in high school. If their team had 50 plays in a game, Henry ran the ball 42 times. And this was 4 straight years that this man ran the ball like that. His last year in high school, the man had 4,000 yards. They just give it to him, give it to him, give it to him. He was so much bigger than everybody. He'd run through a lot of them. But then again, that's dangerous too, because when you run over these small guys, what are they going to do? They're going to go after your legs. Fortunately for him, he didn't get hurt. But all those yardage and carries that he's had over the years, he can time out at any time. Kind of like what happened to Sean, what's the dude who played for Seahawks? Alexander. He just, one day he woke up, he couldn't do it no more. And the same thing happened to Henry. So keep an eye on that. Time, how you doing, man? Top of the morning, have a productive Wednesday. Stay consistent and healthy. I'm going to try to. You do the same. C15, how you doing? Jovi and Moella. I don't know nothing about the NBA right now. Let me tell you something about that, and you can take it how you want to. But when it comes down to talking football or NBA, football is going to win. If they're playing Game 7 of the NBA Finals and there's some football news, the football news is the biggest news. Basketball and any other sport out there is just something to do until football comes back around. So all you basketball enthusiasts, you take that. And that's just the way it is. You think a 7-on-7 would work like Ice Cube Big 3? I'm not a big 7-on-7 fan because it's unrealistic. And I think that kind of thinking or those types of leagues waters down real football. If you look at the way these receivers in the NFL, they go across the middle with absolutely no fear. You couldn't do that when I played. A lot of times these guys, because of the rules, are targeting and they worry about getting thrown out of the game. They actually let the guy make contact with the ball before they try to get him on the ground. That's not football. If I can make a play on the ball and if I can't get there, I'm a half a step late, then me and you're going to make some contact while that ball is right there. But that's not what they're doing now. They're allowing them to catch the ball, and they say, well, you're being dirty if you hit the guy before he has a chance. They call it a defenseless receiver. I don't know how he can be defenseless if he's trying to catch the ball to defeat me. Maybe I'm the defenseless because I'm not allowed to play the game as a defender. But I think that these guys, they don't wear pads. I think every now and then in a big game, and maybe it's just me, but if I'm a defensive coordinator in the NFL and the game's on the line and one of those guys comes running across the middle, we're going to put a hit on him. And if you recall Super Bowl 11, Jack Tatum put that hit on Sammy Wilson. Not Sammy Wilson, but what was his name? Sammy White. He come across the middle. Look that up on YouTube if you've never seen it before. He caught him. And when he come in there, you hit him. And even though White caught the ball, he paid a hell of a price, and he didn't want to come back in there no more. And I guarantee you one thing, those guys will be wearing some pads the next year because we're going to hit them. Football is a hitting game, and you'll never be able to legislate the contact out of football. And if the game is on the line, you want to call a penalty, fine. But his ass won't come run across that middle no more, I guarantee you that. And I think that's what a team needs to do is lay a hit on one of these guys, and that'll change the whole direction of what's going on. Because fans want to see these guys get hit. They don't want to see this old chump game that they're trying to come up with. But yeah, the 7-on-7, those kind of leagues water down real football because these guys think they should be able to run free in the middle like that in real football. And I think the defenders should be allowed to play. And if you come running across there, I think they have the legal right to hit you. Now, what I don't agree with, a lot of the stuff that they used to do when they're talking about leading with the crown of the helmet, you run the risk of breaking your own neck. But what some of those guys would do if you ran the football and after the play was over, some defensive lineman coming down the line because the coach told them to get to the football, they'll fall on you a second or two after the play is over. They needed to get rid of that. But I have no problem with a guy getting hit between the whistle and it's a good legal hit. That's what football is about, not this sucker stuff they got going on now. We just basically flag football and pads, and a lot of that goes back to these 7-on-7 leagues. All right, great hit. I miss lots. I miss hits like that, especially when Ryan Lott will hit you. Taylor will hit you. Yeah, he might have been one of the greatest safeties ever, but it's kind of hard to say because you're playing in different eras. Atwater is another guy that will put a hit on you. A lot of guys that played that were real good at what they did. A lot of people call Rodney Harrison dirty. Well, maybe it was. But if you're playing a physical game and you're a little bit undersized, you got to try to run through these guys like Harrison did. And I don't have a problem with it. But if it's not a dirty hit, then you're subject to get whatever happened to you on the football field. Better keep your head on the swivel is all I can tell you. I forgot the New England Patriots guy. Oh, that was Darryl Stingley. He got hit by Tatum on in a preseason game, and I saw that. And what they don't usually show you the whole thing; they usually black it out. You can still see that on the internet. Look it up. But Stingley came across on a slant route, and he came in and he ducked. He had his head down the whole time. So Jack, he probably could have held up, but any kind of contact in that position, it was going to cause some damage to the neck. That was more on Stingley than it was on Tatum. And I think Tatum bared the brunt of all of that because he was the guy that hit him. And it wouldn't have made no difference who hit him at that point. The way that Stingley, the position he was in, that caused more of the damage than the contact from Tatum. But that's the reason why Tatum is not in the Hall of Fame, because of that stigma behind that hit. He never apologized for it, and I understand why he didn't apologize, because he's out there playing the game, and that can happen to anybody at any time. I hate to say it, but it's been a while since somebody got paralyzed in football, and within the next couple of years, you're probably going to see that happen again. We don't want to see it, but that's just the nature of the game. You fall wrong, anything can happen to you. All right. Well, Taylor could have been the new version of Atwater. But like I said, there's a lot of big hitters out there, but a lot of these new guys, they not really, I don't know how tough they are. A lot of them never went through two-a-day practices or none of that. So you really don't know how tough these guys are until they get into a situation. So while they might be crying about something that's tough, I'm looking at them sidelines. You call that tough? Nah, that's not tough. I'm not impressed because I've seen it. I've been watching it for over 40 years. I know what real football looks like. And hell, football from the 70s and the 80s got cleaned up from the 40s and 50s. You thought they were dirty in the 80s. Shit, look at some of them pictures from the 50s and 60s. There's some real vicious hits out there, clotheslines and everything else. A lot of that need to be cleaned up, but to try to legislate tackling and hard hitting out of the game, you can't do it and still call it football. That's just my opinion. But that's the horn going off. I got to get up out of here, man. I got a lot of votes today. I asked the question, do you think Watson is going to play this year? Most of you, the vast majority of you are saying no. And I think that if Watson doesn't play, it's because the Browns want to save that money in the salary cap. But I'm telling you, if they're competitive and they're not too far out of the race and the quarterbacks aren't playing that great, why wouldn't you bring Watson in to see if he can get the team over the top? I don't think he's hated in the locker room. It's just some of the fans don't like him because he got hurt. It's not like he tried to get hurt. So you can't hold that against the man because he got hurt. So I don't know. But we'll see how it plays out. Dunn brothers were playing with leather helmets. Dawkins was the number one safety, but he'd come up and hit you, but I don't know if he was one of the biggest hitters. But I do like guys that would catch a guy and hit him. Guy from my hometown by the name Jarvis Williams used to play with the Dolphins and the Florida Gators, and he was known for making big hits. And he didn't care, he'd come up and hit you. But he all came up in a different era. But the best known hit that he had was a lot of people will never see because the film is no longer, well, nobody knows what a film is. Somebody got a film somewhere. But this guy from Palm Beach played at University of Michigan. He played basketball up there. He was an All-American in football and basketball in the class of '82. Well, they played our school in the state championship game, and Jarvis happened to catch the guy. He was big dude, big tight end type dude, Anthony Gates type guy, but kind of like a much bigger frame. He come across on a little angle route, and Jarvis read it, charged at the dude full speed, got there just as the ball there, pow! Ball went one way, the helmet went the other way, hit the man so hard the other team quit, man. They didn't want to play no more football after that. And that's what a big hit can do for you in football. And if you're able to stick your head in there and play, then the defense can make something happen. But nowadays, they'll call a penalty and throw you out of the game for it, and that's disappointing. All right, Dawkins played 3 years without the passes. Defense is that. He had 20 a season, potentially lead NFL in passes defense, and has the most defense stat of all time. Well, if you go back and add up all the stats from everybody, maybe it might be the greatest since they've been keeping stats, but yeah, a lot of times, a lot of guys out there, they won't even throw their way. You're talking about Deion Sanders. You better go look at Dick Night Train Lane. They won't even throw his way. He was that good. And the dude, he didn't play football in college. He's working in the aircraft plant, and the Rams just happened to be practicing close by, and he didn't want to go to work, so he went out there and see if he got a tryout. Got a tryout, and I'd be damned if he didn't make the team and all the way to the Hall of Fame. So motivation is a great thing, man. But anyway, I got to get up out of here, man. I got to go sign in and go to work. I appreciate you guys chiming in with me, but I do think that Watson is going to end up playing sometime this year, even though most of you are saying that he will not, but he will. And because the contract is so big, they almost have to put him out there. And it'd be interesting to see just what he does when he gets out there. And I'll be waiting to see that. But if there's no breaking news, I catch you guys 6:30 in the morning. Please, I hope you like and subscribe. If you like my kind of talk, I got plenty of trash to talk. And I didn't put my link up with Fango Media, but go to Fango Media. You'll see me talking to fans after Jaguar games, getting their opinion. I'll be out there this week when the Texans come to town. One last chat. I don't know if many players have 30-plus fumbles, 30 interceptions, 26 sacks. Hey, he's a great player, man. But I don't have time to go and check all the stats. So I'm going to take your word for it, but I'm going to look into that. So next time I catch you, maybe I have some information for you. But I appreciate you rapping with me. So wherever you guys are in the world, have a great day. One last check on this vote right now, 75-25. Most of you are saying he will not play, and that's probably going to be wrong because I think he is going to play. But anyway, have a great day, and don't forget to keep your eye on